Chapter 1. Judgment and Salvation. Nahum chapter 1, verses 2 through 8. At first glance, the book of Nahum would seem to have little to do with the overall message of the Bible, and particularly with the message of the coming of God's kingdom and redemption from sin in Jesus Christ. After all, what importance can the fall of an ancient empire have beside the rather simple fact that its fall fulfills various biblical prophecies against it? Further, how does a message almost entirely focused on destruction contribute to the Bible's salvation-focused storyline? These questions and others draw attention to some of the challenges that face readers of Nahum. But these questions are not without answers, and Nahum's themes do indeed intersect and connect to major themes in the Old Testament that, when fully developed in the New Testament, are inseparable from salvation through Christ and God's triumph over evil and all his enemies. We will first study Nahum chapter 1 verses 2 through 8, which serves as the backdrop for the Assyria-focused material that follows. We will then explore Nahum's condemnation of Nineveh and Assyria, noting how it guides the reader toward a theological rather than a national or political definition of God's enemies. Along the way, we will see how God's judgment of his and his people's enemies serves the ultimate goal of their deliverance. Historical background. One word summarizes the historical background of Nahum: Assyria. This empire, centered in Upper Mesopotamia, northern portions of modern-day Iran and Iraq, had existed for well over 1,000 years before Israel arrived on the scene in the Levant, the eastern Mediterranean region, including modern-day Israel and Palestinian territories, Jordan, Syria, and parts of Egypt, Iraq, and Turkey. After several ups and downs, Assyria became the dominant power in the ancient Near East by the end of the 9th century BC. By that time, the united monarchy of Israel, ruled first by David and then Solomon, had separated into the northern kingdom of Israel and the much smaller southern kingdom of Judah. The north quickly veered into idolatrous worship under Jeroboam I, 930 to 909, see 1 Kings chapter 12, and into worship of other gods under Ahab in particular, 873 to 852. The south, home to the temple and the Davidic monarchy, was blessed with more faithful kings, especially Asa, 911 to 870, Jotham, 758 to 743, Hezekiah, 727 to 698, and Josiah, 639 to 609, and its descent into covenant infidelity was slower. The occasional reports of Assyrian aggression against Judah, for example, during the reign of Hezekiah, see 2 Kings chapters 18 through 19, Isaiah chapters 36 through 37, bear witness to Assyria's rapid expansion from its homeland, first westward and then southward toward Judah. Although Assyrian imperial ideology held that the expansion of the empire was necessary and even inevitable because of the support that the Assyrian gods gave to the king, more practical reasons were also at work. These included the need for natural resources such as lumber and metals, which were in short supply in Upper Mesopotamia, as well as manpower and precious metals. To facilitate its growth, Assyria developed an unusually violent approach to warfare to intimidate its intended targets into submission and so avoid lengthy and costly wars. As an example, Ashur-Nasirpal II, 883 to 859, summarizes one of his campaigns in these grisly terms: "While I was in the city of Erebua, I conquered the cities of the land of Lahutu. I killed many of them, namely the inhabitants.